It is my esteemed pleasure to present to you, friends of the university, the sixth president of Norfolk State University, Eddie Nathaniel Moore, Jr.
Good morning. I had hoped to get all of you out of here in less than 2 hours. Depends how long I decide to talk. And there's always a real danger of putting a microphone in front of a college president. But let me begin with a quote from a great president, great former president, the late Benjamin E. Mays, president of Morehouse College. Every man and every woman is born into the world to do something unique, something distinctive. If he or she does not do it, then it will never be done. This quote has guided me for the past number of years, and I've come to believe with all my heart and vigor that I was created to become a college president. It is something unique, it is something distinctive, and today I am here on my third tour of duty as a testament to this calling that I believe my Creator has set before me. And I have the distinct privilege of serving this great institution, Norfolk State University. At this point, I said something nice about the governor. That was meant to be humorous. So in his absence, to the Secretary of Education, Deidre Trent, the Board of Visitors, members of the distinguished class of delegates, to my faculty, my family, guests, staff, and most importantly, our students and our alumni, I say again, good morning, and thank you for honoring me with your presence here today. It means so much to me that you have taken time to share this special occasion with me and with the family here at Norfolk State University. I am indeed very humbled that you are here to celebrate this unique and distinctive event. The event should be obvious. It's becoming the sixth president of Norfolk State University. First and foremost, I give honor and glory to Almighty Father for guiding me and keeping me throughout my life's journey. When I started the outline of this speech, I said it's going to be the last time that I publicly get to thank people that have guided me throughout my life. I begin by paying tribute to my father and mother, Eddie N. and Marie G. Moore. I hope they are allowed today to look down upon me on this special occasion and smile with gladness. Little did they know that the son that was growing up, following his father around a fish market in Philadelphia, cleaning those fish and hauling away the remains, would have the awesome responsibility of transforming lives and creating global leaders. I thank them for all the life lessons that I carry along with me today, and for the consistent reminder that failure was never an option. It is said that the college presidency is a partnership, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Among the faculty, the alum, the students, the employees that have all dedicated their lives toward moving the university forward. But also during this time, as my son Jonathan reminded me, my wife Elisha, my children, Fidel, Felicia, Jonathan, Jana, and Joanna, my sister Rita and her husband Charles, and the last representative of my father's family, my Uncle Samuel, the Reverend Samuel Moore, and his wife Aunt Erna, and the many close family members and friends here today, I thank them for their unconditional love. As Jonathan tried to tell you, it is said that Dad does best, at least my family believes this, when Dad's at work. I have to agree with them. My wife recently told me, you know, I really like you better when you're working. There is no shortage of examples in my family of this saying said many different ways. Most recently, when we were moving a desk for my youngest daughter, I was sent to the truck because they didn't need a supervisor. To the Board of Visitors, I am humbled and grateful for the opportunity to work with you and create a greater legacy for Norfolk State University. I am honored to receive the charge given to me to lead this great institution forward into the 21st century. This charge is accompanied with great responsibility, sacrifice, and opportunity. It is one that I accept willingly and with zeal. To the members of the Founders Day Committee and Inaugural Committee, thank you for your magnificent work. Today would not have been possible but for your creative ideas, your diligencies, and affection and attention to detail. And I even thank Crystal for telling me that they're not tears, eyes do sweat. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been handed a great torch. It's represented on my medallion by the lamp of knowledge. I accept that responsibility and pledge and commitment to this proud legacy here at Norfolk State University. Much has remained the same in college presidency, but I would also tell you just as much has changed. As a three-time president, I attest to that change. Regardless of the era or the institution, the college president to me embodies the fundamental values of the institution. Presidents are required to trust their faculty and other advisors, but ultimately to follow their leadership instincts and to understand that the presidency is not about the president, it's about the institution. What we must always remember, we should understand what has gone before us, the people who have made the university what it is, and how we have shaped its history. Because of this, I believe, to modify another Dr. May's quote, that with a presidency, it's not failing that is a sin, but it's having low aim. So this president will always aim high. we will use the expression stretch goals because we have to make up for some lost time. As I said earlier, my leadership journey started in Philadelphia at a fish market. That's a repeating theme in my life. I think it was a plot, because if you clean fish all day Friday, it's not available to go out on dates on Saturday. That aroma just doesn't go away overnight. So I think it was a master plan of my father to make sure that I stayed at home. But it was there I learned to serve. When you have customers that really can't afford the food that you're selling, and your job is to convince them to buy more, and their job is to get you to slice the lunch meat thinner, you learn the value of persuasion, and you learn to listen. When it came time to choose a university, I really didn't put a lot of thought into it. All my life, I have been frugal. My family says cheap. But the lowest cost option at that time for my family was not, I'll let the secretary and my many friends argue, was not HU. I won't tell you which one I was accepted to. But it was Pennsylvania State University. So I went to a university that at that time cost 3 times a year, tuition fees, room and board, listen to the students, $425 3 times a year. It was like $1 million. They sent a letter to my home saying, you know what, some people have said no, you're no longer on the wait list, and if you can be here in 2 days with $425, you have a spot at Penn State. I looked at my dad because in 1965, that was a lot of money, especially for someone who sold fish for a living. And he told my mother, pack him up, I'll have the money by Saturday. And my sister and mother, they took me off and left me in a high-rise dorm with a roommate that had never seen a live African American. Again, learning to get along with people and being a good salesman came in handy. But what I remember most about my time at Penn State is really 2 things. And why I'm so dedicated, and the faculty have heard me preach advising, advising, advising. My first experience with my advisor was, you know, you need to go into the Army and come back a few years later. This is 1965, and I'm sure our history department, 1965 was not a good time to be out of school, because if you weren't in college, you were in Vietnam. So that wasn't very good advice. So I relied upon my fraternity brothers for advice, 2 of which are here today, and it makes me exceedingly proud. Over 50 years ago, we started that mission together. Everyone gave us no chance of finishing, and all 3 of us did, so I'm particularly proud of that relationship. But we got in the room and we decided that we were advised which professors to take, which ones not to take, when to take this course, when to take that course. And if it had not been for that legacy of my fraternity, I don't think I would have made it, because I would have ended up just taking the wrong things. So, faculty, that's why I have such a passion for advising. because I know our students, by and large, are still first-generation students and don't have a real idea of how to maneuver through our curriculum. And I beg you again, advising, advising, advising. The other great outcome for me was stumbling across Army ROTC. Had a strange colonel then, but a fair colonel, who for whatever reason decided to call a number of us his blackbirds. We'll let that go. Remember, it's Penn State. 25,000 students, 191 minorities. So we just said, yes, sir, and kept marching along. But finally, I made it to become a second lieutenant and went on active duty, and you've heard that that career was okay. But what I learned there is that my smart mouth and the Army tradition of taking orders were just not going to work. And before they put me in jail, at the end of the 6th year, I returned their commission to them and said, thank you very much for the opportunity. But as many students know here today, I support citizen service in the military. Absolutely, no questions asked. It's the best course that I took at Penn State. I also learned several things in my youth that carry me forward even till today. One was in the Boy Scouts, and it wasn't be prepared. It was actually being told that we were responsible for leaving campgrounds better than we found them. I believe every president should believe that they need to leave the institution better than they found it. I truly believe that Mr. Samuel Fisher Scott, Dr. Lehman Beecher Brooks, Dr. Harrison B. Wilson, Dr. Mary V. McDimmon, Dr. Carolyn W. Myers, and Dr. Tony Atwater all believed that they were going to leave the institution better than they found it, and I thank all of them for their efforts over the years that preceded me. Today, more than ever, I believe that Norfolk State is poised to move to the next level. Our faculty-led strategic plan is helping us to maneuver, to get a beacon as to what's in store in the future. I will not be known for following the rules on strategic planning. That's why you're working on a 19-year strategic plan that says what will Norfolk State look like on its 100th anniversary. One thing I'll guarantee you, I will not be president on the 100th anniversary. But I will be interested, whether I'm still on this earth or somewhere else, I will be interested in what Norfolk State looks like on its 100th anniversary in 2035. That's why I believe we have to strive for excellence. We can't follow the other universities that are represented here. We must set our own course to success. And we must be vigilant in following that course and exercising it. Again, high aim is what we should together work toward. So that's why initially I sent back this strategic plan and I said the goals aren't high enough. They're not lofty enough. We can do more. And we will do more. We will make sure that all of our students get what they need to have a true opportunity, as is required by the SAC standard, for success at our university. We will hire the best faculty available. That's why I've asked the Faculty Senate to lead an effort to define the faculty, the future faculty of Norfolk State. We must compete with our neighbors and our colleagues around the nation for the best and brightest, fully credentialed faculty members that are being made across our country today. So there are basically three priorities that I have. We need to recover from our enrollment loss, so we need to increase enrollment. We need to improve our graduation rates and retention, and continue the efforts to create a culture of accountability at Norfolk State. I've had a lot of opportunities in my life, probably more than I deserve, and I tend to remember visual and audio messages. I don't want to sound too much like Donald Trump, but I really do tend to remember those. And one that stuck with me when I was an office manager and we put up these little posters is, you sign your name to everything you do. So if you're part of a committee, your name is on that product. And we sign our names to every student that matriculates here at Norfolk State University. And that student carries your name forever. And we should have pride, and we should finish the job and do it well. We are on the road to recovery. We had over 6,500 applications in the first-time freshman class. If I was a statistician, I'd brag about our 120% increase in the size of the freshman class. We are back over 1,000 freshmen. We had over 1,500 applications for transfer students from around the nation. We signed over 500 of those and enrolled them. And currently, we have made our first step toward recovering the losses that we incurred because of our challenges with the accreditation issues. That will not happen again on my watch. Together, teams of faculty and staff have begun to prepare for our upcoming accreditation report due in 2018. Financially, Norfolk State has established intentionality about its budgeting and resource allocation process. Although small to many institutions, we have raised over $9 million since I've arrived, more than $3 million a year, and this year is headed toward another year of that level. And to steal a line from a national DJ, tonight we're going to have a party with a purpose. We've established a new category of scholars here called presidential scholars. Doesn't matter what their major is, they are awarded their scholarship based on their high school achievement. So there will be liberal artists, there probably will be some STEM, there may just be, I don't know, some philosophers. I really don't care. I want them to have an opportunity to get a quality education, and we need to raise money to support that. Recently, I was asked, what could I do with another $500? And I said, if I had another $500, we would have one more student. Because sometimes that's all it is between keeping a student and sending them back home. And it hurts. So while Presidential Scholars will not be our highest award, that still will remain with Dynemis, it will be a substantial award that should keep all students in school here at Norfolk State. I am pleased with my beginnings of my career. You heard it in higher ed. I had the great joy of walking the grounds of the university that Mr. Jefferson attended. And the joke on that campus is UVA exists because Jefferson's children couldn't get into William and Mary. I'm showing my William and Mary roots. I couldn't let it go. And I am really proud that we share their colors. But I will owe them, because I believe the fairest competition for a job that I ever took place in was the one run by Mr. Sam Jones, and I tell him this, at William and Mary. And had I not been allowed that opportunity, I don't believe I would be standing here today. So Taylor, I thank you for being here. So where are we going? I'll give you a small peek of the strategic plan. We have decided we want to be SACS Level 6 and a Carnegie Research Institution. We're going to build on the $30 million that you heard we were awarded in the last year, and we're going to continue our efforts to expand our research. We're going to expand the number of terminal degree programs. When? Sometime during the next 19 years. And we will be at the highest level that SACS has and the second highest level that Carnegie has. Our future lies in quality programs. You heard it from the governor. Quality programs in cybersecurity, materials science, and engineering. But our birth was in the liberal arts, and we cannot forget that. So I join the other presidents who say STEM should really have an A in it to make it STEAM. So, simply said, we're going to get better. The president will always say thank you. He will always ask you, but what's next? As my son will tell you, he'll always say, okay, I'll only ask you twice a year, but what are you doing? How are you moving forward? A friend who I think is a good supporter because he's already written a check recently told me that, you know, your cup isn't as full as it once was. And you need to really decide how are you going to expend the rest of the energy that you have been given. And I reflected on that. I think he was trying to tell me that really you should consider something else. I'm here to tell you today that I am committed to keeping the lamp of knowledge trimmed and burning. It is an awesome responsibility that I do not accept lightly. And I pledge to do my best for Norfolk State University. I said that to my daughter, who's the youngest, who's not here. And she said, Dad, do you know what you just said? And I reflected upon it. And the oath I had today, I have taken in one form or another about 5 times in life. 3 times at universities, as a lieutenant, and as the treasurer of Virginia. And I always said, is that it? Obey the Constitution, do your best? She said, Dad, do is active. It means you're always going to be active. You're always going to be pursuing. And best is superlative. I got a smart kid. Because I hadn't reflected on it. So simply telling me as president, "I'll do my best, sir," is a major commitment. I will tell you personally, there are days that I don't think I can get here and do my best. But I have promised, and I promise this board again today, that I will do my best for Norfolk State University. So I want us to grow, I want us to prosper, I want us to be competitive in fundraising, so the UVA's, Tech's, and even William and Mary are worried about the money that we are raising at Norfolk State, because they all know that the state will not give us enough straw to make solid bricks. And we must raise independent money. I know it hasn't been a priority here in the past, but it will be for me in the future. And I invite all of you to join us. As little as $500 for all of you that are working will change a student's life forever. So in conclusion, I really mean it, ladies, you can put your shoes on. I believe that Norfolk State University degree is akin to a stock certificate. You want it to increase in value every day. I also believe the best way to increase in value is to invest in the issuing company, or in this case, university, that has issued that certificate, in our case, degree. Let us forge onward, as I'm fond of signing my letters, with permission from the author of the song, to secure a proud legacy at Norfolk State, to continue steadfast toward this goal. Let us each resolve to leave this institution better than we found it. And to the students present today, I pledge that I will do everything I can to make your journey a successful one, a meaningful one, and to help you throughout the course of your academic and professional life. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of all of you. Lastly, you heard how our mission was begun. We educated those that others would not educate or give an opportunity to. I still believe that's our mission. And laid on my heart and not in my speech was a song that I learned a long time ago. And the chorus basically said, red or yellow, brown, black, or white, they should all be precious in our sight. We want to educate the children of the world. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless Norfolk State University.